Ukraine cuts off Europe's supply of Russian gas. After a significant agreement with Moscow expired on Wednesday, Ukraine has fulfilled its pledge to stop the flow of Russian gas via its borders to Europe. Given that Europe has already significantly reduced Moscow's share of its gas imports, Ukraine's reluctance to extend the transit agreement was a symbolic but inevitable action following nearly 3 years of full-scale conflict with Russia. According to Ukraine's energy ministry, the agreement was terminated for the sake of national security. "We have halted Russian gas transit." The ministry said in a statement that this is a historic occasion and that its gas transportation infrastructure was ready before the expiration. Volodymyr Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, referred to the action as one of Moscow's greatest defeats. He expressed optimism that the United States would expand its gas supply to Europe in a Telegram post on Wednesday, accusing Moscow of turning energy into a weapon and engaging in cynical energy blackmail against its partners. Due to lower shipments to Europe, Kremlin-owned gas giant Gazprom, which inked the transit agreement with Ukraine's Naftogaz in 2019, suffered a $6.9 billion loss last year, its first in almost 2 decades, according to Reuters. This is in spite of its attempts to increase shipments to China, a new consumer. According to the news agency, Gazprom will lose over $5 billion in gas sales, while Ukraine will now lose about $800 million in transit payments annually from Russia. According to the article, several European nations that continue to buy Russian gas have previously set up alternate supply routes. The expired agreement primarily supplied Austria, Hungary, and Slovakia with gas, accounting for around 5% of the EU's overall gas imports, according to Brussels-based think tank Bruegel. According to Bruegel, Europe now only has one path for obtaining pipeline gas from Russia following its expiration: the Turkstream pipeline, which passes through Turkey before continuing on to Bulgaria, Serbia, and Hungary. The deal's termination was no surprise, according to Henning Gloystein, head of energy, climate, and resources at Eurasia Group, but he anticipates that it will cause spot gas prices to spike when markets reopen on Thursday. However, he told CNN that much of Europe has experienced a warm start to winter and that a major price spike as seen during the previous Russian supply cuts is unlikely, as EU importers have long prepared for this scenario. According to a European Commission spokesperson who spoke to CNN, the European Union has been preparing for the deal's potential expiration with nations for more than a year. According to the spokesperson, European gas infrastructure is adaptable enough to supply gas of non-Russian origin to Central and Eastern Europe via alternative routes. Since 2022, it has been strengthened with sizable additional liquefied natural gas import capabilities. Austria's energy minister Leonore Gewessler said in a statement on X early on Wednesday that the country's energy companies had looked for new, non-Russian suppliers, adding, "We did our homework and were well prepared for this scenario." According to a Reuters story, Slovakia's Prime Minister Robert Fico stated on Wednesday that the EU will be dramatically affected, but not Russia, by the cessation of Russian gas supplies via Ukraine. According to the news agency, Fico has previously claimed that the deal's termination would result in higher gas and energy costs throughout Europe. For Europe, what does this mean? Russia was the largest supplier of natural gas to the European Union before to its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. According to the European Council, the bloc has reduced Russia's pipeline gas import share from more than 40% in 2021 to roughly 8% in 2023. In order to bridge the gap, Europe has imported large amounts of pipeline gas from Norway and liquefied natural gas, LNG, a chilled, liquid form of natural gas that can be carried by sea tankers from the United States and other nations. In order to power its factories and heat its homes, the EU has also increased its imports of Russian LNG. However, it has set a self-imposed deadline of 2027 and intends to eliminate its reliance on all Russian fossil fuels. According to analysts who spoke to CNN last month, countries that get Russian gas through the transit agreement with Ukraine are not in danger of experiencing an energy shortage and will probably make up the difference by importing more natural gas or LNG through pipelines from other European countries. The expiration of the accord, however, will make it more difficult for Europe to restock its reserves before next winter. Massimo Diodordo, a senior natural gas researcher at energy data firm Wood Mackenzie, told CNN in late December. According to him, this is one of the reasons why gas prices in Europe are probably going to stay around where they are now, or maybe increase in 2025. Although prices have fallen from their peak in the summer of 2022, they're still more than double what they were in the past. The area is already showing symptoms of stress. Transnistria, a breakaway territory of Moldova, a non-EU nation that also receives Russian gas via Ukraine, cut off heating and hot water supplies to residents after the transit agreement expired, according to a Reuters story on Wednesday.